So over lockdown, my productivity absolutely plummeted, as I'm sure many of yours did too. I found myself fighting to get even the smallest thing done and constantly waiting for the motivation wave to return. And then my mum suggested that I listen to Rangan Chashti's podcast featuring Fogg, all about tiny habits. From there, I binge listened to every single one of Chashti's podcast episodes. I read Fogg's book cover to cover, and then I got searching for every other book I could find that was related to habits. Atomic Habits, The Motivation Myth, Grit were just some of the other books that I ploughed through, desperately trying to get back to a place where I was getting stuff done. But most importantly, I took a holistic approach to this task. Not only did I focus on learning about grit and motivation and habits, but also about nutrition, water, supplements, and sleep quality. I am not interested in toxic productivity, but rather finding ways to maximize my focus, to get more stuff done in less time, allowing space for rest and other activities. Today I'm talking you through my daily productive habits that have been built upon the knowledge that I gathered from reading and listening and learning from experts. So if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you like things all productivity, sustainability, and a holistic approach to, general living, then hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video. Okay, grab a cup of tea and let's get straight into it. I started by minimizing my morning routine to something more simple, enjoyable, and efficient. Instead of worrying about meditation and time logging and yoga and many other elements suggested, I kept it simple by only having 3 things on my list. When I wake up, I drink a glass of water, take my supplements, and make a cup of coffee. I stacked 2 habits that I was constantly forgetting to do on top of one that was pure enjoyment and therefore an anchor I could rely on. We're taught that water is incredibly important, but how often do we actually drink the amount we need to lead a healthy life? The answer is probably not enough. So that was the first habit of the day I began to incorporate. The next was supplements. As someone who eats a plant-based diet, it's incredibly important I take an active approach to my nutrition, ensuring all my necessities are met, particularly B12, omega-3, specifically DHA, and antioxidants. And because I am definitely not an expert, this is where supplements come in. Today's video is sponsored by Heights, and for the past 30 days I've been using their smart supplement for better brain health and mental well-being. Now, I'm incredibly skeptical about supplements considering there are so many on the market, but this one came highly recommended by Dr. Rangan Chashti, who I am a huge fan of and actually respect his opinion. The team is also made up of leading experts in neuroscience, wellness, nutrition, behavior change, and technology. Plus, their supplements are plant-based, they only use sustainably sourced ingredients, and every part of their packaging is recyclable, with the outer box being compostable. Nutrition, water consumption, and supplements are incredibly important for brain health and therefore productivity. Our brains are made up of 75% water and 60% of fat. It's confusing, but it works. Therefore, taking a holistic approach to productivity is the best way to promote overall health and well-being. As a vegan, getting B12 can be even trickier, and so it is widely accepted that supplementing is the best way to ensure that you're getting enough. I'm not exaggerating when I say I've experienced a huge improvement in my sleep quality, my ability to focus, and generally feeling much sharper. And what this signals to me is that I had not been paying enough attention to my mind and body and what it really needed to thrive. And this has definitely been a lesson learned for me. If you're interested in checking out Heights, then I will leave a link in the description where you can get £10 off your first purchase. So after I drink my glass of water, I take my supplements and I make my cup of coffee. And that's my official morning routine, simple and to the point. Most days I will also walk to the gym and do a HIIT class. I find it impossible to work out in the afternoon or evening, and so by finding a time that I know works for me, keeps the habit ticking over until it becomes truly automated. Doing some exercise in the morning provides me some screen-free time where all I have to do is focus on the movement. This helps to clear my mind and ensures I do something I enjoy, but also challenges me first thing in the morning. I often make a habit of walking home instead of cycling to practice reattaching to work. In the evening, I make a point to detach so I can be present, and therefore in the morning I will need to do the opposite, and this looks like this. As I walk, I go through the goals that I have for the day. What do I need to achieve? What one thing is the most important piece of work that I need to get finished? By reattaching, I am getting into the work mindset. This is particularly important as someone who works from home, especially since my desk is in my bedroom. If you've never tried this before, then try asking yourself these 3 questions before you start work in the morning. Why does the work I do matter to me? And what impact does it have on other people? 2. Who are the people both in your personal and professional life that care about your success and fully support you? And 3, what would you like to focus on today? Adding this habit into my day has been one of the most impactful things I've done to boost my productivity. It's also helped me to become more engaged in the work I do and the goals I have. In March, I was genuinely beginning to think that my channel was dying, and so I took an active approach in discovering all of these different habits that would help me attach to my work in a much broader sense. By incorporating this small habit into my daily routine, I began to find joy in the work I do again, as well as boosting my subscribers from 180,000 to over 220,000 in just a few months. Give it a try, you'll be amazed. So I no longer write to-do lists anymore, because they always end up too long and including things that are distracting me from my top priorities for the day. So now I simply write one thing, the most important piece of work that needs to get done that day. This helps me to focus on my priorities and what deadlines I have coming up. It reduces procrastination and helps me to focus on one task at a time. Once I finish the one task I set out to achieve that day, I'll go back to my notebook, cross it off, and decide on the next one. Now, I am someone who gets easily distracted, hence why I can't write to-do lists anymore. And our ever-increasing connection to our phone constantly interrupts my workflow. Even if all the notifications have been turned off, the instinct to pick up my phone and scroll has become too strong. So for the first 2 hours of work, I simply tuck my phone away in a drawer, place it in another room, or just simply out of sight. When I'm deep into my workflow and my phone is out of sight, it truly is out of mind. And ever since doing this, my productivity has skyrocketed. The last habit I do in the morning is to time block, but instead of time blocking for work, I time block for rest, lunch, and other activities. Modern society has pushed us to a place where we have to be constantly working, otherwise we feel like failures. But this just isn't true or productive. Rest and recuperation can be some of the most productive things that you do. So, as exercise is already built into my day with no effort or extra effort needed at all, this isn't something that I need to time block. Instead, I put a time aside for things like my afternoon walk, coffee with my sister, Zoom calling Shelby or Maddie, and I even put aside a little time block to send a nice message to a friend I know isn't having a great time. Building and fostering your relationships will help you in the long run to combat things like burnout and stress. Having a support network is worth investing your time in, as well as taking care of your mental health and physical well-being. So on to my afternoon habits. I always take a break from work at around 3 p.m. and go for a short walk. This helps me to process any problems that I need to find solutions to. And this also helps if I'm editing a video and I need to kind of step away from it to look at the bigger picture and see if there's anything that I can improve upon when I come back to it. It also just helps me to get my steps in, because I find that with editing, planning, and various admin tasks, I end up sitting down for most of my day. Again, it also provides an excuse to go for a walk with my sister or a friend and get in that quality time. I'll usually finish work for the day when a particular project or task I'm working on is finished. However, if I'm really enjoying what I'm doing and in a flow state, I will just continue until I lose steam. I find that when I am really focused, this usually means I am in flow, and therefore I hate to interrupt that with arbitrary fixed working hours. I'm lucky that although there are many boring aspects to my job, I absolutely love video editing, and so occasionally working into the evening to prolong this feeling is something I am more than happy to do. Being in flow has been really important for me to remain productive throughout the day and also achieve some of the long-term goals that I have. According to the positive psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a flow state can improve performance as well as helping you to learn new skills. I will link his book in the description below in case you want to hear from an expert more about the idea of the flow state. So, my evening habits. Similarly to my morning routine, in the evening I like to keep it super simple. Dinner is always at a different time, and whatever leftovers I have or something really easy that I can just put together. But the 2 habits I keep up with every evening are prepping for the next day and reading just 1 page before I go to bed every night. 1 page might seem like nothing, but according to Fogg, author of Tiny Habits, tiny is transformative, And ever since starting this habit, I have read more and more every day and finished more books than I have in the previous few years. However, if I'm particularly tired, I always scale back to my original tiny habit of just 1 page, just to keep the habitual element of picking up my book each night ticking over. The last habit of the day is prepping for the next day. All I do is ensure my cafetiere is clean, has 2 spoonfuls of coffee in it and a cup sitting next to it ready to go in the morning. I also fill up my glass of water to put beside my bed next to my supplements, ready to go as soon as I wake up. The only other prep I might do is if I'm heading to the gym in the morning earlier than usual. I'll lay out my clothes and shoes ready to go so I don't even have to think about it. And that's pretty much it. I have really scaled back my routines for productivity because for me, simplicity is key. If you did like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if you would like some additional content, then you can check out my Patreon in the description below. I really believe that working on your productivity is great for maximizing your focus so that you really can spend more time resting, recuperation, and spending time with family and friends and doing the things that you truly love. We're not about toxic productivity here. We're all about improving ourselves in a sustainable way that works for you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you do like these videos, let me know in the comments below so that we can continue working on our productivity together in a healthy and holistic way. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.